Atlanta Motor Speedway over the years has gone through several iterations. First, it started off as a regular oval, then got modified to a quad oval, and in its most recent incarnation, it's been modified. The straights have been widened just a little bit. The banking has been upped a little bit, and brand new, spanking new pavement splayed across this racetrack to increase the speeds and effectively make it a super speedway. We saw some fantastic racing last night in the next gen cars, and we can expect something very similar here tonight with the Truck Series. Hi, my name is Finny Kuna, here with Connor Horn and Hunter Sleppy, here for the Truck Series, bringing you action here from round 6 at Atlanta. Guys, glad to have you as always, Connor.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here as well. This is pretty wild. First race I'm going to watch with this new Atlanta Super Speedway. I've raced an official, but I haven't watched anything happen. So I haven't even seen any of the trucks ever race here. So this is going to be very interesting. Not as fast as the next-gen cars, topping off maybe about 185, 190 down the straights, but it's going to be non-stop action all night, no doubt about it. And there's going to be so much to follow tonight, Hunter.
I'll say you mentioned you haven't seen trucks race here. I haven't seen trucks race ever here in area. I've been fortunate to call the ARCA Series back in season 1, Cup Series, the Launch Box Series. I've never called a truck race, so tonight is my first truck race. I'm glad to check that off the box. But last night we had the Cup cars here, and it was tame for the most part. A lot of side-by-side action. It got really dicey when they went 3 wide, but towards the end, started to become more of a caution fest. Cautions breeding cautions. Had a massive wreck at the end heading into turn 1. Which I kind of figured on the last lap, if the race would go green to the finish, turn 1 would be the move to make, as they are piling up big time over there in turn 1 from the aerial shot. But I'm really excited to see what these trucks can do. Never been able to watch a truck race before until now, so I'm really looking forward to this, Finian.
Yeah, indeed. And right here, we'll pull up the point standings coming into tonight. Oop, that's not looking correct. Hang on 1 second. I'm going to update that real quick.
Previous week.
Yeah, no, I could have sworn I updated it. I guess it didn't go through. Hang on, we can fix this right here. Give me 1 second. There we go. That's up to date right now. After round 5 of 17, Ryan Hart, Jordan Hurley, James Kelly, Matt Bell, and Travis Beckner all locked in. That's the big thing, too. We've had a different winner all 5 races this season, so a lot of guys have already punched in their ticket. That means, though, there are a lot fewer spots left for these guys to lock themselves in, and I can imagine some of these guys maybe getting a little bit nervous with that.
And it's going to be even potentially more wild. We're at a super speedway like track. Anything can happen. Anyone can win, especially at a track like this type. So it's not even the favorites like Travis Beckner, David Weishart. You obviously have to look for them to be at the front of the field, but the guys lower down in points like Tommy Ryan, Paul Irvin, those guys who need points and potentially wins, this is potentially their shot tonight.
Yeah, looking at Cameron Hearn over there, 14th in points, 12 points out. Nearly got the win last week at Gateway. Travis Beckner stole that, but Brad Slaughter led the most laps in the race at 41. He's sitting there 8th in the points with a 19-point cushion, but I'm really eyeing up Garrett Grant here in the 5. He really does well on these super speedways and really has a good feel for the truck. A bit of a slow start to the season, but I'm looking for Garrett Grant to make his mark here tonight at Atlanta.
Yeah, take a look quickly at the team points, if I can just update that in 1 quick second. That's what happens when... Oh, that's not looking correct. What is going on? Oh, is this correct? Nope, that's still not correct.
No.
What is going on? Hang on. Getting to the bottom of this. I downloaded them right before we went live. Why it's not correct? Okay, this is correct, but really small for some reason. So I'll expand that out a little bit. There we go. Make it visible. Don't know why. There we go. Taking a look at the truck team standings. Jacob Bell Racing, David Weishart, IRLC Motorsports, your top 3. And Jacob Bell Racing starting to eke out a little bit of a lead.
Yeah, definitely good lead for them so far. And the only team to have more than one winner, no drivers, but the team itself has more winners. David Weishart Racing, really solid for them to be in second place with no win. Sky Motorsports, Darnell Racing down there. A few teams trying to pick it up, but like I said, impressed by DWR to be there with no wins, and they've been so close in the Truck Series as well as the Lodge Box Series on Thursdays. They've been so close.
Yeah, I mentioned it. Cameron Hearn second last week at Gateway, looking to continue that strong run. Brad Slaughter actually led the most laps in that race, and throughout the whole season, Colin Fambro, another driver for David Weishart Racing, he's led the most laps so far in this current season at 111. There's a lot of drivers who've led a lot of laps, but Fambro's at the top of that list for laps led, so maybe David Weishart Racing can get a win here tonight.
Yeah, Colin Farrell right now in the number 18, 18th in the timesheets. But, you know, as we've seen many times in the past, timesheets don't really mean a whole lot when it comes to super speedway racing. That being said, except for qualifying may or may not be a little bit important. It was, I would say, relatively important last night with the next gen cars. They had a bit of trouble trying to pass one another around here. But Connor, how do we think the trucks are going to perform? Obviously, a different type, the different super speedway package to the next gen cars. So how are they going to perform around here? You think it's going to be similar, a little bit tough passing, or do you think we may see these guys have an easier time?
I think it's going to be tough for the most part. This isn't like a Daytona or Talladega. You got 3 to 4 lanes at those tracks. Here, you really only have 2. It's tough to get 3 lanes going here. Yes, you have all those lanes on the front straightaway, but half of them are rendered illegal, I believe, with the rule. I'd assume there's a rule. I don't know.
Yes, there is.
100%, but you're not going to be able to use all that room down there, and it gets skinny into turn number 1. Look how wide. Look how much room you have on this front straightaway. It gets so skinny into turn 1, so you really don't have anything in the turns to go 3 wide. If you pinch really hard, you can make it work, but that's the only way to go 2 wide very cleanly. 3 wide's not going to happen much. Passing's going to be a little bit tough. Everyone's going to be bunched up. You're not going to see the big runs that you saw in the Cup Series last night. So as far as, I guess, super speedways go, this would be the most important one to qualify at, Hunter.
Indeed, we saw that last night. It seemed like track position was going to be key, and even at the very end when everybody from the back was making their way to the front, the first 2 finishers, Ricky Springer and Brandon Bowie, they started on the front row and they finished on the front row. They just swapped positions. Ricky Springer ended up winning the race, and Brandon Bowie led the most laps, as they are, well, that's not going to help.
Yeah, I have a feeling we are going to see a lot of drivers sent to the infield care center tonight.
If that were the next gen, that would be a concussion and a half.
Only if you
but
hit rear.
Looking back at last night, track position is going to be key for the most part, but even then, some drivers made their way from the back to the front. Travis Beckner took home the podium after starting 30th, and Dwayne Culberson started dead last and worked his way up to 6th. Shane Abbey started 40th and finished 7th last night. Tyler Nichols, 42nd, and still came home with a top 10. So it's definitely possible to make your way from the back to the front, but if you're qualified up in that first row or so, then you're going to be pretty much set for the beginning of the race. However, things can change towards the very end.
Yeah, and also an interesting thing, too, is that qualifying is going to matter a little bit here. We have 44 trucks lined up or in the server at the moment, so someone's going to be going home empty-handed at the end of qualifying. Just going to be able to have to wait and find out who that is going to be. Ooh, we see another wreck, big wreck from the 44.
Really going to have to watch out for those. It's going to be a little bit different challenge. Some guys from the Cup Series, they might not be ready for how different the trucks are. The bumping is going to be a little bit different. These truck bumpers really don't line up the best on iRacing, so you got to be careful when you try to give someone a bump job. If you hit them too hard, you're going to start something huge.
Yeah, and you mentioned that there's going to be a driver going home tonight. We got 44 cars here, open drivers to keep an eye out for are Bryce Senesac, David Weishart, Ryan Swan, Rafe Slate, Colin Fern, Justin Munsell, Alex Weaver, Aaron Reed, Kyle Sieg, and Michael Leip. Those are the open drivers, and we'll be keeping an eye on this qualifying session coming up.
Yeah, qualifying coming to an end, or practice coming to an end, qualifying just about to begin shortly in about 40 seconds time. Not a whole lot of drivers out on the track. There's not a whole much you can really practice for by yourself. What's actually, correction to that, definitely we're going to want to practice pit lane entry at some point. We saw green flag pit stops last night, and a lot of drivers got black flags, and were never really able to quite recover from that. We'll take a look here. We're right on board with Cochran. Actually, he's coming down to pit lane now. He's slowing down much earlier than you would expect to, but it is a treacherous pit lane to get onto.
It's going to be, but how early can you start coming down to pit lane? It's going to be tough if you're in a pack. Say Cochran's in a pack and he's not the last one in line. He's trying to pit. He better make sure to let everyone know, or else he's going to get ran over and it's going to create a huge incident. It is so tough to get the pit road at Atlanta. It was already difficult before it was a super speedway. Now it's harder than ever.
Yeah, even more difficult, especially with how tight everything is. If the car behind you on the bottom doesn't get the memo that you're pitting and it just runs you over, then that's going to be a recipe for disaster. So hopefully we avoid that tonight, and qualifying is about to get underway. And race fans, be sure to subscribe to the Area iRacing Twitch channel. For only $5 a month, you can watch all area broadcasts commercial free. And you can also use new Area iRacing emotes down in the chat. And as a subscriber, you'll earn double points. that you can use to redeem for free merchandise, which, by the way, I checked it. I'm leading in the standings. So if you wanna dethrone me, you gotta use your channel points down in the Twitch chat for the poll question. We'll get that up in just a moment. So we got one driver on the racetrack, and I believe that is the 7 of James Scioli for Sci-Fi Racing.
Off to a very slow start. You just saw there 93 miles an hour just kind of meandering around the track. And this is something similar we've been seeing, is that a lot of guys have been taking the first lap fairly calm, not wearing the tires, not pushing their equipment, and then going to go hard the second lap or not. James Scioli is actually going to stop.
Yeah, I don't really know of a strategy. I don't know how to qualify a super speedway because usually I don't qualify for it because I like being in the back. But this track, you don't really want to be in the back, so we'll see if he goes back out there. Matthew Cochran's going around among other drivers. Trying to see who else is going around. It's Brad Slaughter Jr., who's running the top lane. He's going to get that top lane, get the run off the corner so he can get a better send-off into turn number 1 for his money lap.
Yeah, and funny enough, last night the hometown hero, well, not hometown hero, well, home track for Ricky Springer was Atlanta, and he ended up winning that. Brad Slaughter, this is also his home track. Jordan Martin as well. I know those two are in tonight's race. I'm not sure if we have any other drivers that are from Georgia that are racing tonight at their home track, but definitely keep an eye on Brad Slaughter. He has had pretty much a lot of success here. He was up front for the most part last night in the Cup race, and Jordan Martin also had a good shot at the very end before getting caught up in a wreck, and he was fastest in practice in his truck practice, well, before qualifying, and now Brad Slaughter currently fastest on the board.
Top time for Brad Slaughter, though only a few guys have put down time, still waiting on everyone else to get a time down. Colin Fambro going out there on the track. James Scioli finally getting back out on the track. Danny Ware in the 00, ripping around the top lane, building up momentum. He's getting ready to put down his first time. Tom Bourne in the 16, rocking around the bottom for his time lap. And that beautiful green, white, and black Simrap Market truck as he comes flying across the line, down below the line, totally legal for qualifying at least, and we'll be up into second place.
Solid lap, not much to it. Hold it wide open and hold a pretty line. Got to do it better than everyone else though, and Brad Slaughter Jr. has done a great job of that. Still at the top of the board. Trying to see other drivers going out. Scioli is finally picking up the speed. His lap 1 won't be fast, obviously, but it's finally getting going. And a Sogak on track in the 88. Try to look at the 56 here. AJ Roderick going through turns 3 and 4 for his money lap. You're in a 32.467, which put him in the 8th position. We'll come down to the line now, see how much faster he can go with 3.77. That'll put him about 5th for the time being.
And just dropped in the Twitch chat, the poll for tonight is, will we see a new winner tonight? So the previous winners, and as mentioned, we've had, up to this date, 5 races. We've had a different winner every 5 races. So it's been Ryan Hartz, Jordan Hurley, James Scioli, Matthew Bell, and Travis Beckner. So you can bet with exclamation point bet, and then the word yes or no. Wagers as little as 10 channel points or up to 10,000. I believe we'll have a new winner tonight. Who that is, I'm not sure. But here is the 7 of Scioli coming across the stripe. As mentioned, he is a winner this season, and he's looking to add another win to the season as he's currently P1.
Yeah, really solid job by the number 7 truck getting it done there. David Weishart in the 33. We talked about his team not getting a win so far this season, but doing very well in the team standings. They can try to get that first win in the season here. Let's see what Weishart can do. Wasn't a huge factor last night. Hung around just about the top 10 in the race. Qualifying, though, Weishart up into 4th. Solid qualifying effort for him. Eric Wineland also doing a solid job, up into 5th for him.
Is still trying to look at the open drivers, but it's so hard to follow 44 different trucks. Rafe Slate, excuse me. He's starting his first lap, going around the inside. 08 machine, not too bad in practice, but I like looking at the time difference from in the draft and not in the draft. The best time is out of the draft is a 32.3. Well, if you're in the pack, you're running about 2 seconds faster, so you have to stay with the pack. You cannot lay back, or else you're going to get lapped in about 20 laps time.
Yeah, we saw lap traffic play a little bit of a factor in the previous race last night for the Cup Series, and Rafe Slate in the 08, he had a pretty good car. Even though he was caught up in multiple wrecks, he still found his way towards the top 10, but then at the very end got caught up in another wreck. didn't get the finish that he wanted, so currently 24th quickest on his first lap. We'll see what he can do on his second lap, but looking for a big bounce back from the 08 tonight.
Yeah, ripping the bottom lane, as pretty much everyone has been doing, fastest way around. And then cutting the apron on the front straightaway for the 08 of race late. Can he elevate himself from 24th? Should be able to, only up to 20th. Not a particularly good qualifying effort for the 08. He's going to have to do better in the race. Hopefully in Cameron Hearn. Here's an interesting thing. He's on lap 2, and he's not set a time, and he's sitting in the pits. So Hearn's going to be starting from the back.
Yeah, I don't know. I went to the replay. He was going backwards, so he didn't really feel like putting a fast time down. Doesn't feel like he needs to be at the front for starting. So clear to see that his strategy is probably just going to be to lay back for a while.
Yep, Cameron Hearn, another driver from Georgia looking to get a win on his home track, along with Rafe Slate as well. Bryce Senesac in the 09. Didn't have a good night last night. Gonna want to bounce back here tonight. And pretty solid lap time there for lap number 2 for the 09. P8 for Bryce Senesac.
Yeah, he was also not happy in the chat at the end of the race, to the point where the admins had politely mute him, because he had some very choice words to say. I think he got involved in the mayhem that occurred on the last lap. I know that, so like you said, hopefully he's going to hope for something better. Beckner just come across the line. 5th fastest so far in the 28. Again, Area 500 winner. Finished very well last night. I believe finished in 3rd, if my memory serves me correct, and I hope it does, because that was literally last night.
Yes, he finished 3rd last night, and finished 3rd last night. Maybe he'll finish 2nd tonight, and then 1st on Thursday night.
Tommy Ryan going to come across in up to 1st in the 99 machine. And remember the Ryan siblings, if I'm not mistaken? Tommy, Jeff Ryan? Okay. Just wanted to double check that before I said that wrong. But both the Ryans doing very well at Daytona, and that entire team actually did very well at Daytona. So here they are back near the top. At least one of them. Jeff Ryan, though, in 37, only back in 26. So they're going to have to find each other at some point during this race. And no one else really out on the track. Chris Seidenfeiden's rolling now. He doesn't have a whole lot of time to get going.
Should have enough time to get 2 laps in, though. Trying to look at the open drivers. I could obviously be wrong, but if I am correct, I think the slowest one is Aaron Reed, the 15 machine, in 27th. So right now, I'm trying to see if any open drivers haven't gone out there, but if I am correct, Aaron Reed would be the one going home, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm trying to see if anyone else...
amongst those that have put out a time, I don't know if any of the other open drivers have put down a time.
A few of them aren't here, like Colin Firth and Kyle Sieg. Justin Munsel's not here. The Crumble Cookie Truck isn't here this week either.
Intriguing.
Senesac, Weishart, Swan, Rafe Slate is just above the 15. So I see Michael Leip. I think he's just above Slate as well. So I think the 15 is unfortunately the one going out. Seidenfaden finally getting up to speed here to get a good run out of 4 for his second lap. He will have enough time to get this done.
Yeah, it was taking it very leisurely on the opening lap, and now speeding up to start his flying lap, where he's currently technically on a flying lap. This will be his second lap and the main lap he'll be going for. So he gets up to speed. Christopher Tate in the 6 has rolled out. Don't think he's going to have enough time to get an effective time in, so we'll keep an eye on Seidenfeiden.
Yeah, Tate got out. He's only going to get to the line to start lap 2 of 20 seconds left. So, yeah, Seidenfaden's going to be the last one to put any sort of competitive time down as he rolls through right on that red and white line through 3 and 4, jumping off it a little bit. He's going to cut all the way past the Geico restart zone and stay down there. 32.397. That'll set him 18th on the grid for tonight, tied with Jacob Bell on time.
Not too bad, not too bad. And qualifying is going to come to an end here. And we'll let the admins sort out who's officially going to be the driver going home here. They try to sort that out. Well, one thing I wanted to ask you, Connor, is coming into tonight, we saw last night too. Tires, big thing. Well, guys varying out the tires quite a bit. We saw one driver attempt to stay out on older tires, and he paid the price, drop all the way back from the lead, back to 40th in about 20 laps time. For the trucks, is it going to be that severe? Is it going to be that significant?
I don't think it's going to be as bad, but I still think they're going to matter. Once again, comparing it to the Daytona and Dega, they don't matter there. But this track, with the high speeds, the high banks, cars and trucks, the trucks specifically, they don't take it as badly. But the next gens and Xfinity cars, I think we're going to see a lot of wear from those on Thursday, the Xfinity cars. But the trucks won't be as bad. You might see more people risk staying out, but you are still going to have to try to keep your tires on the thing tonight.
Oh, we saw that last night. Jonathan Cogswell stayed out and just dropped like a rock. So tire wear going to be a concern tonight. Well, that was for the next gen car. I'm not sure if that'll do the same for the trucks, but going off of last night, you're going to want fresh tires because no one is going to want to work with you on older tires.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting some confirmation from the officials. The number 15, that is trying to find where he is on the board. Aaron Reed. He will be going home empty-handed, unfortunately. And even last night, too, we eliminated one driver. And unfortunately, tonight here, one singular driver. That's I think that sucks more than if there's a few drivers going away. If you're the only driver that isn't able to start a race, I think that hurts a little bit more.
Yeah, we're going to rub more salt in the wound, Finian. Good job.
I'm just saying.
The more unfortunate part is that he did. It's not like he was the absolute slowest. He had people go slower than him, like Ryan Hartz, for example, Matthew Cochran, Logan Hartman. He qualified better than people, but the benefit of having a charter for those four is that they're able to be locked in almost no matter what, and Aaron Reed, unfortunately, doesn't have that luxury. So it wasn't for a lack of being the slowest, but just not enough for him.
Back in my day, which is 2013, 2014 on iRacing. Yes, I've been on this service for that long. I missed also a few races too. I was just that slow. I'm honestly still that slow, if I'm being perfectly honest. But yeah, I know how it feels to you get in qualifying, do your best effort. And that's when the league they had qualifying on a separate day before the race, because there were so many guys trying to race in, and unfortunately I was one of the few going home more often than not. And I got lucky in the events where there were less guys signing up for, and there were less spots for me to lose out on. But qualifying is over, and the grid is set, and let's get down to your Roasted Gems starting lineup. And fans, be sure to visit Roasted Gems Coffee for some of the finest coffee from all over the world. Use discount code AREA iRacing for 10% off your order at roastedgems.com. Let's start off with your grid because it's a very large one. Starting on pole, it's Tommy Ryan with James Kiley in 7, rolling off in second place.
Great qualifying run for the 8-8 of Justin Anna Sogak, and third alongside him, one of the favorites to win tonight, Brad Slaughter Jr. in fourth.
Moving on to fifth, it's going to be David Wise in the 33rd. Travis Beckner, 28 truck in sixth.
Nearly identical times for row number 4, Eric Weiland and Tom Bourne share that row.
Moving back to 9th, 01, Dwight Beverly in the inside lane. Paul Irvin in the 48 in 10th.
One of the open drivers making the field tonight, Bryce Senesac in a 09 alongside Carter Coopman in number 12 position.
AJ Roderick's going to be in the 13th and the 56th. Nathan Lath Hicks in the 53 and 14th.
Tyler Hallman in the 42 starts 15th. Alongside him, Jordan D. Martin at 16th.
Back in 17th and 77, and Jacob Bell's going to be inside. Chris Seidenfein in the 45 going to be rolling off in 18th.
Beautiful 18 truck. Colin Fambro starts in 19th. Alongside him, another open driver making the field, Ryan Swan in 20th. We're
going to quickly kind of go through the rest of your field here, going across the bottom of your screen because there's just so many trucks. That's been the tough thing this season for these guys. There have been so many people showing up for these races. We can't even get through them all on the pace lap. But it's a very good problem to have because there's so much competition, so much action going on here for these guys. And then on your last row, Jordan Hurley, Jeff Noe in 40. Oh, actually, sorry, there's a few more guys. Jane Litzenberger, Josh Taylor, James Coe, Charles Canita. That's going to be rounding out your grid. We got 43 trucks ready to go here at Atlanta. Pace truck is in. Field in control of the 99, Tommy Ryan, leading them very slowly on down. And there he goes off and away. We are green here at Atlanta. Lap number 1 complete, and they're pretty much as they started, but James Scully's got a big run on that tail lane. Brad Slaughter right in behind him.
Yeah, that outside lane's almost sort of preferred at Atlanta because the turns are so tight, you really can't gain that ground really back quickly on the bottom. And it seems like everyone wants to jump to the top, and you get the momentum rolling there, especially at a turn 4, that top line gets big runs. And if they can pinch like the 7 of Skyoli's doing right now, it makes that bottom line much harder. It makes it much harder for them to get that track position back, as Tommy Ryan, the pole sitter, is not even going to lead any of the first 2 laps.
Almost led it there, but he's got Anna Sogak on the bottom. The Alaskan Assassin pushing him from behind. It's 2x2 throughout the rest of the field, and compared to last night, this is a better start because last night some of the drivers didn't even make it to the green flag and already had a wreck.
Yeah, we saw quite a few incidents where guys were trying to game the start, get a little bit of an advantage, and some beating and banging and accordion fent and causing incidents, as you mentioned, coming to their start and restarts afterwards. Though very clean start for these guys so far. No incidents to report of at the moment, but everyone going so far solid double file. I mean, obviously, though, the big question is when are they going to stop going double file?
I don't think they're going to. The pack as tight as this, you really don't want to go single file, or else the stack ups will be just even worse at a track like this, which is obviously smaller than a mile and a half super speedway. I don't think single file is a good idea, but we did almost have stack ups at the back of that initial start, but everything all good as everyone's 2x2. Obviously, not surprising. No one's risking going 3 here early on.
They're only going to stop going double file when the caution comes out. Then they'll have to go single file unless they decide to go double file and do that.
He's just getting out of here. I think Anna Sogak wanted out.
Yeah, we saw that last night with Jacob Bell. He got all the way up
to
to leading on the inside lane and said, all right, that's it. And then he just dropped to the back. So it looks like Anna Sogak playing it safe early on.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was trying to click on his name as he was dropping down the order, but he was getting passed by so many cars, couldn't quite click on him. You can see there going 40th, 41st, 42nd, and not quite 43rd, and wait for it. There it is, dead last in 43rd, so he's going to have spend some time hanging out here. Eric Wineland looks like he's going to join him.
Yep, he's going to go to the back as well. It's so tightly packed 2x2. The littlest contact is going to cause a huge one with how stacked up they are. So I don't blame him for going back there. I wouldn't want to be up there either. As you can see, it is getting maybe a little bit more orderly at the front. Only 3 trucks left on it outside. As soon as Tommy Ryan jumped up there, everyone else went away from him. No one's working with the 99 tonight, as now I believe that's David Weishart leading the bottom. He inches out to the lead out of 2.
Couple laps ago, it was the opposite. There were only 4 trucks leaning on the bottom and a big gap. Now accordion effect back there.
Whoa.
That was a Bryce Sensak in the 09 that had a big accordion effect there on the bottom. The car in front of him, I believe that's Laith Hicks in the 53. Just
Yikes.
An accordion effect going into turn 3 with all that gap there.
Yeah, we're talking about Bryce Sensak again, trying to recover from a not so good finish last night in the Cup Series, so trying to recover from that. Running well so far, but as we mentioned there, just a little bit of a hiccup. Ooh, and I thought I saw some smoke in the background. Might be seeing things. I think I'm just seeing things.
I think it might have been just an internet flash by someone. Look at the damage. There is some front bumper damage on the 09 of Senesac. You don't really want that, because if you're pushing, the temps are going to go up, and his temps are going to go up higher than anyone else's because of having that damage. So something he's going to have to look for. It's a pretty mangled front end.
Especially at a super speedway, then when everything is all aerodynamic dependent. Well, it's got to rely somewhat on horsepower, but for the most part, you need to have perfect aerodynamics, and the slightest bit of damage can affect the race car.
You definitely don't want to beat up your equipment too early, because you're definitely going to need as much as you can get later on in the next gens. We saw some guys actually with some pretty banged up cars were near the front towards the end of the race. That being said, though, once you get into clean air, that's when you really start to suffer. So that's kind of the big thing, the big question in the air, but you definitely don't want to damage the engine most of all, because that's the thing giving you the power, and you're going to need a whole lot of that here, because otherwise you're going to be off the pace and potentially lose the pack.
I don't think I've ever seen a 2x2 pack this deep. It goes all the way back to, I think, like 25th or something like that. It's pretty crazy. The first single file driver is Chris Seidenfaden, and he's about 23rd. And then after him, you see all the drivers kind of laying back, spread out. Field's kind of split 50-50 on drivers staying in the pack and drivers just wanting to get the heck out of there. Very end of it is now Michael Light, actually Michael Lipe is he's the one actually having internet flashes, and that's why he's
Whoa,
almost
whoa, whoa,
dropping
whoa,
off
whoa.
the
We're
back.
almost had a wreck right there. Almost had a wreck right there. I think that was
Wow.
Beckner that tried to get up in line. It was either him or Carter Coop that went from the bottom to the top, and it nearly created a massive crash. They're still trying to get a Gorian.
That was
right
Beckner.
behind there. It was Beckner.
Take a look at your Simrat Market replay there to see what happened off of turn 2. And this is Beckner trying to clear aggressively off the corner. And some might argue that might be a little bit too early for that.
Way too early.
Seidenfaden almost spun off a turn 4 all on his own by hitting the apron. He was able to save it and not even lose much time, but getting a little antsy some of these drivers are.
That happened a couple times last night in turn 2, where drivers would just get too close to that apron, and then on corner exit, their car would just merge down closer towards the inside wall. They wouldn't spin out. There were quite a bit of times where it seemed like a big one was going to happen, but somehow everyone saved it.
Yeah, that's a big thing too. Is we did see a lot of saves from drivers. We'll see if this tonight, if that's any different. We see a lot of saves, or a lot of guys. Bennett did see in practice of the wrecks that were very violent compared to the next gen. I don't know if those cars again just the way they absorb energy, but the next gen is Scioli having some handling issues. You saw there a little bit of a wiggle from the 7 truck, and I'm kind of surprised we're only in lap 13.
These guys better be careful. This is not going to be like the Cup race at all. If we get one incident like that from a front runner, like Scioli in 4th doing that, it is going to take out half the field, and that's not even exaggerating. Half the field in this pack will be wiped out if someone like Scioli or someone else cannot hang on to their machine. That was a huge slide. It might not have looked big, but that was a huge save for the 7, as turn 3 and 4 is a bit of a trouble spot here.
If there's anything that watching trucks in real life has taught me, is that they are always on edge and they're always loose. And almost saw that again there. I think it was the 5th car on the bottom lane. Don't know if that was, no, that was Latex. So the 5th car on the inside line got really squirrely there in the quad oval.
That might be Latex in the 53. Started in 14th up into 9th, so a little bit of forward progress for the 53 truck. Like I said, though, some guys looks, or at least it seems like they might be starting to have some handling issues. And that's, again, like, as we mentioned, though, big wreck can potentially happen. And also we were talking about before we went live with the pit road entry here, and these guys, you know, they're not going to want to pit. Oh, I see the 53 getting loose yet again. Second time.
Oh, this is not what you want to see this early in a run. Only lap 16, and got a lot of the drivers in the lead pack already getting squirrely. But about the green flag pit stops, Scioli got loose again. Paul Irvin had a little bit of a slide. This is brewing for disaster. But as far as pit stops go, you almost want to pit on your own. Super speedways usually want to pit with a pack, but this track is maybe small enough as far as the super speedway goes where you're probably better off pitting on your own instead of getting chucked up by a big pack. Irvin's up the track.
Whoa.
Oh, they're getting tight. This is not going to end well the way it's going.
No, it's not. Saw the 52 hit the apron there for a second, get loose. Then the 28 was checking up, and the 53 almost hit doored the 0-1.
The 53 has had quite a few incidents so far, and now he's going to go to the outside. I'm not sure how that's going to work if he's battling a loose handling truck. As mentioned, he's had a couple of close calls here tonight, and he's had a bit of a fender bender with the 09 of Senesac, who's now looking to fill in that gap as starting to get a little more spaced out here, but that'll be closed back in a couple of laps or so.
You're starting to see the back of the field a little bit more separated out, seeing some guys back here.
Oh, Carter Coop's really struggling. Oh my goodness, he's sideways.
And now you see the gap that's created on that bottom from the looseness of the 52 of Coop.
Whoa!
Whoa, kind of close with Travis Beckner again. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you're right. When they're going to wreck, it's going to be massive, especially if it's in the middle of a corner. There's not going to be much room to go for any of these guys.
Oh, you got to be careful if you're Carter Coop. If he's getting this sideways, it might be best to just back out, find a way out. But
is that Senesac? Senesac.
Whoa,
Here we go. Spinning out.
Thorn around in the the quad oval. Going to take a trip through the grass.
Watch the rejoin. It's going to be pretty safe to get back on track, but he'll definitely almost certainly lose the pack here.
It happened up front. Yeah, we'll take a look at our Simrat Market replay. I couldn't tell if that was Bourne or Senesac. It was a bright green truck, but just gets loose in the turn 3 and Just carrying, and then that transition from the banking, on the apron, and then he just mows the grass.
I'm sure the lawnscapers are going to thank him for that and doing their job. As he joins back in the field all the way dead last in 43rd. At least the truck is relatively in one piece. You see some right side damage, I think, from going over the grass. Some little bit of damage to the bodywork, but for the most part, I think he's okay. Oh, 48, big wiggle.
Oh.
Paul Irvin.
Yeah, he's seeing things get spread out because I think people see what's happening and they don't really want to be driving as hard because they can feel the tires really not doing as well as they maybe anticipated them doing as far as getting sideways. So, big slide. That was a Dwight Beverly, I think. He's still trying to collect it up there. He's in the wall, coming down on Senesac. Now they're 3 wide, cars below the red line. This is going to be tight, the first 3 wide action of the night.
I said in the Cup race, this is like watching an ARCA race. As soon as they go 3 wide, it's like, oh my gosh, they don't go 3 wide often. But that's kind of similar to what we saw last night. A couple of drivers would be close to making contact, would make contact, get in the wall, get out of the wall, get in a 3 wide pickle. Somehow they would all save it and keep going, kind of like what we just saw there.
Yeah, and riding aboard Bryce Senesac here as you start to see the handling get more and more away from some of these drivers here. Also hearing some off throttle times, so I think some guys having to back out of the gas to make sure, for the handling wise, and I think also just having a bit more time keeping the speed up and getting these cars off the corners. I think starting to see more off throttle time. We're starting to see the pack in general separate out a little bit more than the first few laps.
The bottom line's the most separated. Weishart's still getting a great push. They're still surging ahead of Scioli and Tommy Ryan on the top, with Paul Irvin pushing Weishart, but definitely getting more spread out. These lines are not as tight packed as they were the first 15 laps. Everyone really trying to focus on just not wrecking and trying to hopefully make it to a set of green flag pit stops.
And look at that silver truck there. Slaughter trying to make it 3 wide. He's trying to get up towards the front. That's where he was for the most part in the Cup race last night. Hanging tough on that outside line, but the bottom still going strong with Weishart and Swervin' Irvin leading the way.
Yeah, Paul Swervin' Irvin, we saw him almost swerving a little bit too much earlier on. Started in 10th, up into 2nd place at the moment.
3 wide.
Look to the inside of David Weishart, 3 wide. Scalia on the outside into turn 3. Can they keep it going? Oh, Weishart a little bit loose, almost turned it around. He was able to just hang on. Scalia and Ryan now stuck on the top side.
That's pretty aggressive for going 3 wide on lap 25 with 100 to go, but Irvin made a move really sideways over the transition. That's not going to work out for him, and Weishart's going to be laughing as he sees him dropping back a little bit further in that bottom line.
You know what? That was the best thing that could have happened, because I couldn't see them go 3 wide into that corner. It wasn't going to be pretty if they were 3 wide, so it was actually a blessing in disguise there for the 48 of Irvin and for the rest of the field, but now we have a 3-truck breakaway up front. Geierle, Weishart, and Slaughter leading the way on the bottom, and then the next side-by-side battle is Ryan on the outside and Swervin' Irvin on the inside.
Yeah, a little bit of a dissipation here from the front after few near misses. Also just wanted to look through the order. We're talking about passing potentially being difficult. All that to the 0-8 of Ray Slate, started in 26, cut his deficit in half to the front, up 13 spots into 13. P13, so he's doing a really solid job just riding the bottom lane at the moment, trying to get his way forward after a mediocre qualifying effort.
Not too many moving on faster than him. Jeff Ryan's up 9 spots, Jeffrey Wilson 5, Jim Shane Wolf was up 10, so Colin Fambro's up 8 spots to 11, so a few drivers making their way to the front, while other drivers like the 88 and a Sogak drop to the rear, as we're starting to see the leaders, instead of being 2x2 at the front, we're starting to see that top line start to form a little bit more, as 3 cars for the most part, 2.5 maybe, clear at the top line. Scioli, Weishart, and Brad Slaughter Jr., who's fighting with Paul Irvin now.
I think it's only a matter of time before Slaughter comes down to make a move. We saw him do that a couple of times. Get enough of a breakaway out to where he can drop down low, make a move, have the run, and then have the inside line push him further. It's not going to be there just yet. Still a 2-car breakaway. Irvin holding his own on the bottom. Now here comes the 33 of Weishart looking to the inside for the lead.
Weishart wants the lead back. Going to try to have it with Paul Irvin in the back pushing him. Ooh, Brad Slaughter. I'm not sure that was a wiggle or if he was actually trying to think about getting to the bottom lane, and he's going to be wiggling some more off the final corner.
I think he wanted to get there, but it was just too difficult for the truck to make it there, as instead he gets back in line, gets it gathered up, shoves Scioli into the corner, maybe faster than he wants to go, as they look to get a little bit of a run at it too. Weishart to the bottom. Is he going to go back to the top? He thought about it, but he's going to stay down for now.
That bottom still spaced out quite a bit. Now they're trying to fill in the gap there. AJ Roderick on the 3rd position on the bottom, trying to stay inside the top 5, but that outside line coming strong. James Scioli being pushed by Brad Slaughter. Dead even head into 1.
Already a fourth of this race has been completed. Still got 3/4 left. 90 laps left to go for these drivers. Still clean and green. Have not lost a single driver. All 43 drivers still running around here on the track, although some have lost the field. Guys like Tom Board. Actually, pretty much just Tom Bourne. We have this little pack that's kind of separated. The 26, James Coey, Kaneda in the 44, the 4, and James Litzenberger in the 95. And actually, since we got James Litzenberger out here, I wanted to just mention something interesting that was pointed out to me by the admins. This is Litzenberger's first race of the season. Initially formed a team with Anna Sogak, and that was due to his home being significantly damaged from Hurricane Ian before race 1 of the season. So glad for him to finally get out here on the track. Unfortunately, at the moment, not the best of days. And actually, just want to report something real quick. See, Leith Hicks in the 53, way slow.
Yeah. Oh, wreck tri-oval. Yellow's out.
Oh, and it's the big one here early on. Beckner around. There's Ryan Hart's around, calling Fambro, the 41. Cahill Holmes around. I heard you still see some more contact. 57 involved as well. Curious that was related. Yeah, curious if that was related to the 53 being slow, or could be a separate incident.
Hicks scraped the wall in the 3. This is trying to go 3 wide, and Beckner looked. Amber almost got up and over, but a huge hit. Trying to see who that was, who Beckner ran into, and then everyone else piles in. Hartz was just wrecking, trying to avoid it.
It was the 01 of Dwight Beverly that was in the middle of that, or really what started that.
Yeah, Dwight Beverly we'd seen him slide a lot, and Beckner might have wanted to get him out of there.
Yeah, try to see if I can find Beverly on this list of cars. Still can tell me what place he's looking in. Okay, there he's still
01.
Oh, I was looking for the place. I was expecting to see him further back in the pack. Right on board here.
You see, Beckner's trying to get him 3, and Beverly didn't think he was there. Beverly actually very lucky to only get what he got there, to be honest, as the field comes down to pit road. As unfortunately everyone other than Beverly was kind of innocent bystanders. As you can see, the 01's been sliding for a few laps now, and I think Travis Beckner just didn't want to be a part of it. Shoots the middle, Beverly doesn't know it. And Colin Farrenbro really nowhere to go.
Yeah, a few guys further
back.
back.
They're all ARCA braking behind here.
Ooh. Who runs into Ryan Hartz here? A few drivers come in flying.
57. Oh, yeah, you can see right there. 57 just came flying in there. Saw 2 of the 5 wide esports machines banged up as well. But pit stops, as you guys mentioned, underway and completed here. As you got the guys rolling off a pit lane. And the 99 not up near the top, trying to wait for all the sorting out to go through. Ryan's rolled off in 7th. Cochran's actually stayed out. Same thing with James Coey in the 24. Paul Irvin's going to be the one winning the race off of pit lane, followed by Weishart, Scioli, and Slaughter.
I'm trying to go over and see who else was in the wreck. Khalil Holmes piled into it. Eric Weiland might have gotten damaged. That was Josh Taylor, like you said, the 57 who ran into Hearts. I think Jeff Ryan, Jeffrey Wilson, a few drivers. As we've seen before, it's tough to stop if the track's completely blocked. And even at a big quad oval like Atlanta with 10 wide lanes to avoid, it's not that easy, especially when the track gets blocked like that.
No, it is not, especially when you're at essentially full throttle and then you're trying to get her woe down and 7 other trucks go spinning and essentially blocking the track. We saw that a couple of times on the backstretch, but lap 35, first caution of the night is out, and I want to give thanks to SimWrap Market, the replay sponsor. Fans, be sure to check out SimWrap Market for custom iRacing paint scheme templates that are simple to use and help you stay more focused on the racetrack. Go to simwrapmarket.com to find your iRacing template today.
And seeing the field double file back up here, getting ready for the restart after the first caution of the race coming out. Take a look at your race recap real quick. 85 laps to go. First caution of the evening had 3 leaders and 9 lead changes. I'm actually kind of surprised we only had 3 leaders, but again, it obviously only counts if you cross the line as the leader. And I guess that would be Paul Urban, Weishart, and I guess Ryan?
Yes, that would be Tommy Ryan, who led a few laps, was at the front for majority, but it's still the front's filled with the guys who have been front runners. Paul Urban is one of the better chargers, 10th to first to lead this race. Scioli's been at the front, Slaughter's been at the front. Andy Roderick just made his way up there, so and Rafe Slate, the last open driver to make the field, is all the way up in 8th place, so good for those guys. Only one retirement. I think Josh Taylor's going to be the only one out of this race, as Jeffrey Wilson is as well, so make that 2 drivers out of the race and the 25 machine on pit road. But for the most part, everyone's still going to be soldiering on. Still just about 40 trucks on track as Paul Urban's about to take them to the green flag.
Indeed. Still got 30 guys down in pit lane, so 40 guys will take the restart here. Pace truck off, field in control of the 48. Slowly approaching the line once more, and the flag is back in the air, and we are back green here in Atlanta. Solid start for the guys on the inside lane, not so much for the outside. A lot of dissipation in the outside lane as you see Brad Slaughter and David Weishart trying to hook up and see if they can go somewhere.
Trying to make it work, but only those two up there, trying to get help from the farther back front line. It's AJ Roderick who's trying to get up to them. Rafe Slate's up there, has right front damage though, so we'll see how that affects the 08 machine. Senesek on the bottom still has his front end damage from the checkup, but for the most part, everyone at the front with clean trucks ready to race again on new, fresh tires, which I'm sure they're happy they got.
Oh, absolutely. You don't want to have old tires here, especially in a track like Atlanta, even though it's a new pavement. Don't want to have old tires at all, like we saw Monday night. Well, actually, last night. If you had old tires and you stayed out, no one wanted to go with you because you were slow, essentially. So that's not an issue for these guys up front as Paul Urban holding on to the lead. Uh-oh.
James
Oh,
Scaglione.
wrecking back, wrecking one. Let's try and see who that is. Near the 20th place position. Cars on the apron. Looks like we're going to stay green. At least 2 trucks went to the apron there. I think one of them's Tom Bourne, who's just now getting back up on track.
See what happened to him off into turn 1.
Oh, wow.
Got hip checked. Trying to see who that was.
Matthew Bell, I think.
Matthew Bell that avoided that. Is that the 01 again? Or is that Lath Hicks?
I think that was Hicks. No, it was 51.
No, it's the 51 truck. That is, I'm going to go ahead and say that's Logan Hartman, and it is.
Yep.
Yeah, Matthew Bell, you can see also spinning out in behind in the number 9 truck, so both of them off the pace. There is Bourne getting to pit lane, as I can imagine, after decent damage from that. Bell getting back up to pace, but up near the front, double file once again.
Yeah, Logan Hartman. It's almost like he got loose in the dog leg, and it's just really unfortunate. Bourne might pretty much end his day with a hard hit like that, but meanwhile, that's kind of split the pack up now after that incident. Now we only have about 21 trucks in this lead pack, and Shane Abbey leads the second pack, which is roughly 10 cars. So for the first time all night, we're kind of split almost evenly, not just on people laying back, but the packs in total.
Yep, and there goes Anna Sogok in front of them. Around back in 23rd or 22nd. As up front, it's starting to get dicey.
Indeed, it is. Come back up to that battle going on. Just about 20 trucks involved in this battle. James Scully back up near the front. Haven't seen a whole lot of him since the opening laps. The race has been a little bit more on the quiet side after the opening laps, and now is back up fighting near the top side. Weishart to behind him.
Yeah, trying to make it work. We'll see this for the next 10 to 15 laps, just 2 by 2 locked in place until the tires start to take their toll on these drivers and they kind of have to spread out. So this will be what we see, and if this is the type of racing we see at the end of a race, buckle up because it's going to be wild. But if we get the tires to wear as we get to the end of a race, if we see worn tires at the finish, you still have to buckle up because it's probably going to be even more wild than this somehow.
Skyler got the edge for the moment. The 33 of David Weishart trying to push him on through, but the 99 of Ryan, Tommy Ryan that is, still keeping his own to Swerve and Irvin, as it looks like we're going to have a lap truck in the next handful of laps or so.
Matthew Cochran in the 4. That's who that is. We'll see how these guys navigate them. It's the first one of the night for them.
He's coming up on them they're coming up on him pretty quickly. Damaged truck the number 4, so he's going to be off the pace. And that's going to be very intimidating, looking at the entire field staring you down. And curious to see where Cochran's going to go. He's going to stay to the inside or go to the outside. You would imagine he would go to the outside, but you never quite know with lap trucks.
He's actually not damaged, so not sure what happened, but he is 36. The next driver to go a lap down is no damage. You might think about going to the bottom, but you really don't know what to do here. I don't even know what to do here as a lap car here. So he's sticking to the bottom. It looks like that's where he's going to go, so it's going to be a tight squeeze. Looks like Cochran's probably going to find a decent spot in the pack to stay with them, as he's going to get a little sideways as 48's finally going to duck, and the Ford actually got perfect timing there to get the front straightaway to go to the apron, as he will let everyone by.
Now, say you don't want to go 3 wide here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That is the 09 of Senesac clipping the apron there. Getting a little squirrely there on the bottom. Was going to say, if you go 3 wide at any point during the corner, those drivers on the outside lane, whether it's the lap truck or that outside lane, if you're 3 wide on that outside, you're flirting with disaster. Because if you get in the wall and you're trying to swerve to get out of it, might cause a wreck there, but almost saw a wreck on the inside with 09 of Senesac, as they are still slicing and dicing for the lead.
Yeah, neither driver giving up. Well, now it's not so much Skyler's got a different partner to battle with. It's now Paul Irvin down on the bottom that he's duking out with. Tommy Ryan and Weishart in behind them. Then Brad Slaughter, Tyler Holman. Holman we haven't really talked a whole lot about at all. Started in 15th, is up 9 spots into 6th. He's slowly brought that 42 truck to the front, and he wants to play with the big guys.
Yeah, he did a great job getting through the first incident of the night on the front straightaway, and he's been rewarded with a borderline top 5 running position for the time being, locked in place in a battle for P5 eternally with Brad Slaughter Jr., as they won't get spread out for a little while, but doing a great job getting through the field methodically for that 42 machine, as this is what we're going to see for most of the night, just locked in place, nothing you can do unless you're risking it at the very end to try to go 3 wide, but we won't see that for a long time, I believe.
No, you won't see that until about 10 or I'd say maybe the earliest around 20 to go. As soon as we cross lap 100, then you're going to see more drivers making their moves. A lot more 3 wide action and a lot more aggressiveness. This is kind of the calm before the storm, even though we're about to reach lap 50. Riding on board, the 19 of Ryan Swan had an up and down kind of night. Didn't really turn out the way it did that he wanted it to be for last night's Cup event. So he's currently running inside the top 15. Just getting a feel for the truck and not trying to get into any trouble just yet.
Field approaching 2 lap trucks, and looks like they're going to take the top side. In turns of 1 and 2, that's Ryan Hart and Colin Fambro, the 3 and the 18 respectively. All them get on the wall. Looks like they will make it on 3-0 and giving extra room just to make sure everyone makes it through in one piece. Ooh, and is that Cameron Hearn I see looking to the outside 3 wide?
Yep. Oh, he's going to back out of it. Thinks better of it. Really nothing to do there, but I think he wants to get a little bit more track position, maybe a little bit antsy. Even at lap 50, still wants to get a little bit more. I don't think he wants to be behind Ryan Swan for much longer.
Yeah, Cameron Hearn has always wanted to experiment new things. If you could recall from Season 2, Bristol Dirt in the Cup Series, he wall rode on the last lap to get the win, but was deemed an illegal move, so he ended up not getting the win. So he did the Ross Chastain before Ross Chastain made it cool. But Cameron Hearn is one of those drivers that will do anything and everything trying to get towards the front. And you almost saw that right there, 3 wide, but he's going to settle back in the 15th for now.
Field slowly moving their way on through. I was also looking at the lap times for that second chasing pack. It's weird, at times they've been looking pretty good, and at other times they've not been looking good. The gap's been stabilized at around just under 8 seconds, and they actually have not made up a lot of ground. So I'm curious what they're going to have to do. Again, that pack's been led by James Litzenberger. I actually wanted to see what happens here with the lap truck that's pulling to the inside. I think the 24. James Coey.
Playing it smart.
Yeah, appreciate guys getting out of the way. I know there's many times Team Lapis just decide to stay on the inside lane and let everyone else work around, and that's ended as well as you think it does.
Yeah, pretty much. Since that pack got separated from the leaders, they were about 5 seconds back of 21st place Garrett Grant. Now it's about 8 seconds, so really not making any inroads. Litzenberger not leading the pack, but the pack is led by 2 people named James, so that's cool, I suppose. That's James Shainwolf in the 2, who is numerous laps down, 6 laps down, but with a clean race truck leading the pack. Not sure how he got 6 down and no incident, but regardless, he is leading this pack.
Well, he did say, we talked before the pre-race, that he had a little computer issue where essentially his dog kind of knocked off his setup, so he's had to mess with that. I'm not sure how, but you would expect a cat to do that, but a dog, I guess, messed up his setup somehow, so he's been trying to work that through, so would explain why he's multiple laps down, even though he's got a clean truck. And speaking of clean trucks, these trucks are still clean, battling for the lead. Irvin on the bottom, Skyling on the outside, a lap car that they are approaching. This could get dicey.
Could get dicey here. I mean, really, you're just talking about it because Daytona and Talladega is not as dicey. Daytona a little bit dicey, Talladega not so much, definitely wide enough. But here, the way these guys come out the corner, especially when the tires start to wear, it can get really dicey when they start to check up. At least it's the number 6, Christopher Tate. He's going to be almost into the wall, just trying to let everyone go on through. Sorry, 32nd is currently running in 32nd. He's running 1 lap down. It's actually the first truck a lap down now.
We'll see how long that lasts. Next truck to get lapped, actually be Cochran again, so he's just giving up track position just to let people by, but in reality, the leaders are not going to get to him for at least a few more laps. That second pack's really struggling right now, trying to stay single file, but stuck behind a 2 machine who's really not going fast. I think the 88 wants to get by him, so got to be careful in those situations.
Yep, here's the conga line in the back. Kind of out of harm's way. Just chilling, vibing, having a good time as we're a few laps away from halfway in tonight's Bring Back the Old Atlanta 180. There it is. Bring Back Old Atlanta 180. This new one's interesting enough, but for real life, I am not a fan of it. I miss Old Atlanta. Or at least I wish that they could have just run the cars without the Super Speedway setup just to see what it would have been like, but nonetheless, we have the Super Speedway style racing that we are seeing tonight. Had it last night in the Cup Series. We'll have it Thursday night for the Lodge Box Series. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But we still have 60 laps left here tonight. And Scioli and Irvin still leading both lanes, inside and outside.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I just looking at it and like, why couldn't you do this to Texas? Because Texas sucks. So I just don't see why they couldn't just have done all these modifications to Texas. That would make Texas a lot more notable and memorable. I just kind of wish they kept Atlanta's characteristics. It was so abusive on the tires and was really a driver's track. Kind of lost a little bit of that magic with this repave, in my opinion.
It's at least providing us pretty good entertainment on iRacing. I don't think the races in real life were the best, but this is good entertainment. You can't get much better than 2x2. 10 rows deep, as that's what we got right now, and really not even much movement. That being said, it's still great racing, but no movement as far as positions go. Scioli and Irvin can't get knocked off the front of these rows.
Still tight, still 2x2. Haven't talked too much tonight about Jacob Bell in the 77. Currently 7th, go figure. On the 4th truck on that bottom line, he stayed quiet for the most part, and that's a good thing because he's slowly migrated towards the front of the field. Starts 17th up to 7th, so there's always a 7 in there somewhere. Now he's trying to put a 6 in front of that as he's working to get around Slaughter.
Irvin sideways in front of the field. He's able to gather it.
Wow, everyone checked up for him.
Got very sideways, and now they're 3 wide trying to get around him. That's going to spread out this pack a little bit more than they want. Really tight 3 wide. That could have been bad. Irvin finally gets to a spot where he can kind of rest, but he got really sideways. That can happen sometimes. You're getting pushed into a corner. If someone's too close to your bumper, it'll get you sideways. Let's see what happens. Tommy's right there. Yeah, Irvin gets sideways right there, and you can't overstate or understate how good of a job Tommy Ryan did there to not get into the back of the 48.
You want to just kind of ride on board and behind the 99, see how much he had to let off. Whoa, did a great job of just avoiding the 48, did everything he possibly could. And also props to the guys that were in behind on the inside lane because they gave enough room to make sure everyone had room to slow down. And now they're struggling to get back up to speed here.
Whoa.
Wow. Irvin wants to go back up there.
I'll say, they don't call him Swerving Irvin for nothing. And we saw this a couple of times last night where it seemed like, and oddly enough, it's the driver leading the outside right now, Brad Slaughter. He would be put in a 3-wide pickle, would drop a few spots, but then in a couple laps, he'd somehow be back in the lead.
Yeah, we're starting to see the field, sorry, Jesus, brain couldn't find the right word there. Field starting to bundle back up together again, some lap trucks further up the road. Oh, a bunch of them.
There's a lot of them.
Oh, and the 51 is struggling. I think still dealing with some damage from earlier on. And this can get interesting real quick here.
Oh, gosh.
Logan Hartman still in the middle. Watch out. Be careful, guys. That was extremely close. I think they're going to be able to get out of the way. Cochran's going to get out of the way again. Sideways. Car on the apron. Yeah, they're wrecking. There they go. Jeff Ryan's in the wall. They keep it straight somehow.
Wow.
Ryan takes the hardest hit, but we stay green somehow, and this is really going to split the field.
Again, I'm genuinely amazed at how some of these guys have really managed to avoid calamity.
Like I said, we saw this multiple times last night, and you saw it right there.
That was Hallman. And then,
whoa.
Woo,
a lot of bumper car action, but no yellow.
Yeah, that was Hallman who got sideways. Bell got hit up the track. Cars in the wall trying to avoid. Huge stack up. 3 into the wall. And I don't know how they all kept it straight, but now the challenge after that, you got to gather yourself back up and catch the lead pack again.
Yeah, just look how separated this has left the entirety of the pack. So here's the leading group here. The top, I think, 8 drivers. Last tail end is 56 AJ Roderick. Then a little bit further back, there's Jacob Bell, Ray Slate, Cameron Hearn. A little bit further back from them is Beverly, Holman, Seidenfeld, and Martin, and a few others in that kind of the tail end of what used to be the leading pack. And I think some great news for the guys back here who have been really struggling to catch the leaders. They've dropped back 10 seconds overall now, and now they're catching tail end of the guys who had to back off.
Yeah, that might help them out big time if they can just leech on to them if those guys can't get up there, but they still have a little ways to go. They didn't get quite enough. If that could happen again, they'd be in good shape, but I don't see that happening unless they do catch that lead pack again. And I don't think they're going to get away with what they did off of turn 2 again. Oh, car in the wall. Hartman in the wall. Excuse me, not Hartman.
Oh, hold
It is
it!
Hartman. Oh, huge hit.
Huge hit, caution out. 52. Carter Coop also spun around. Field racing on by still. As we have our second caution of the day. Let's take a look at your SimRap market replay to see what happened to him. And we saw that start with the 42, so we'll get some eyes on him.
Yeah, I said Hartman. I meant Hallman. I don't know if there was contact or he just got sideways again, but that was, I think, Jordan Martin. Then huge hit. That was Dwight Beverly who had nowhere to go, and then Carter Coop also nowhere to go.
I'll have to go back and look at it. It was very close with him and the 11 and Jordan Martin. I don't think it made contact initially.
Just sideways.
Sideways for the 42, and then just loses it. Gets in, I believe, Seidenfeld, and then just loses it right there.
Take a look and watch the hand in the 42. I thought he might have gotten a little bit of a shove there from the 11, but I think was just struggling. You're going to see him start to turn right there, a little bit wiggle, and there he goes. The end of the wall.
Because once again, we don't have to we don't get to see what's going to happen on green flag pit stops. Everyone's going to be able to come down and get their second set of Goodyear Eagles now, as definitely not going to risk staying out this early. Maybe we might see it if we get a 15 to go yellow, but even that's going to be pretty tough. Ooh, Brad Slaughter Jr. almost missed his stall. I expect he did. Up. So, yeah, someone's not happy. Someone pulled out and really messed stuff up. I think that was Carter Coop pulling out of his stall. Weishart wasn't happy about it, but nonetheless, pit stops go on as Scioli's going to win the race.
There's 2 trucks in the stall back there.
I think they're sharing stalls, I believe. I don't think there's enough stalls for 43 trucks.
Yeah, I guess it would have probably been, yeah, I guess that makes sense, right? Because I think all the older tracks were definitely able to do 43, 44 cars, and I think all the new tracks are set for 40 cars, being the new maximum limit for the Cup Series. So I guess some guys did have to share some stalls, but James Scioli going to be first truck out of pit lane. Paul Irvin, Weishart, Ryan Swan complete your top 5.
It's funny to see that happen on iRacing because that used to happen in real life too. I believe at Dover in 06, Jimmy Johnson and the 4 car, the Morgan McClure car. I don't remember who was driving it, maybe Scott Wimmer, but they had to share a pit stall at Dover because Jimmy spun on his qualifying lap. Remember that great save? That was that pit lap. So he had So basically the 48 team had to pit the 4 team and the 48 team. So I believe that's the last time that's happened, but it's not completely uncommon in NASCAR's history.
Well, got 50 laps left here tonight in the Truck Series from Atlanta. Want to give a shout out to Rick's Hot Sauce. Fans, be sure to check out Rick's Hot Sauce for some of the best hot sauces made locally in South Florida. And be sure to follow the Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series and see who will take home the $100 prize as the highest finishing rookie in the points standings.
And getting ready for the restart here. Already got the field double filing up into turn 1. As we're just over halfway, take a look at your race recap so far. No, sorry, I thought this was our 3rd caution. It's kind of been weird. Only our 2nd caution.
Second.
Yes,
Should have been 5th caution with the way these guys have been
I think that's probably why I feel like we've had more cautions, because we probably, like you said, probably should have had 5, maybe even 6 cautions this race. But these guys have been doing their best to keep the show going. Even though trucks have been severely damaged, guys have been still going to make sure they can't bring that yellow out. We'll see how long we can go. If we can go to the end all the way without bringing another yellow out. 4 leaders, 18 lead changes.
And a few casualties tonight. Number of drivers out of race. Cody Cotrayer, Josh Taylor, Jeffrey Wilson, Cahill Holmes, Tom Bourne, Travis Beckner. Ryan Hartz, I believe, is called it a night. So that's about 7 trucks out of a race. Jeff Ryan's on pit road. So that attrition rate's only going to pick up as we get deeper into this race and the intensity picks up. You didn't think it could get more intense? Yes, it will. You just wait and watch.
See what these guys are going to bring to the table here. James Scioli leading the field down to the starting line. And there it is. Green flag back in the air and a great start for the number 7. Great start for him and David Weishart. Paul Irvin still struggling to get up to speed. Ryan Swan using the opportunity to get by on the inside. He's up into 3rd. Will he jump to the top lane to clear Irvin? No, he'll stay down low.
49 lap run to the end here. We'll see what the fuel situation is, but we might see people try to stretch it on fuel. I honestly don't know how far it can go, but we might have to just see here if we can get green to the end. But that's a tall task of how the race has been going and how the tires have been wearing. Look at the run the 48 of Irvin has now.
Yeah, I don't think fuel will be an issue. We'll have another yellow before then with the way the aggression level was last night. Wouldn't surprise me if it carries into tonight in the next 50 laps or so. I'd say around lap 100, right around 20 to go is when you're going to start to see more slicing and dicing. That'll lead to more and more crashing.
Yeah, we'll see how much that increases. It's already arguably starting to increase near the front here. Irvin and Scioli not giving each other a whole lot of room through 3 and 4. Everyone trying to side draft off of one another, get whatever advantage they can get. Irvin going to be in the lead for just a second. Tommy Ryan trying to push that 48 up to the front. Even the 77 of Jacob Bell now starting to get a more aggressive 3rd car in the outside lane.
Great push on the top lane that's going to let the 48 get to the front of the pack, as we'll see how long this lasts. We saw him lead the bottom line, but then got too squirrely to hold it and fell back. He gets the lead back here, but we'll see if he can hold it this time, because he's been one of those drivers who's been struggling with the tire wear and keeping the truck under him tonight.
And as mentioned earlier, Jacob Bell's had a quiet night. He's now inside the top 5. 2nd truck on the outside line, pushing the 99 of Ryan. Seeing if they can get a little momentum push there and start to swing the momentum their way. For the moment, it's still Swerve and Irvin leading in the bottom with Scioli in pursuit. And then David Weishart in the 33 rounding out the top 5.
Field rocketing back to the start-finish line. Paul Irvin going to lead yet another lap. James Scioli in behind him with David Weishart in behind those two as they continue on going side by side Still waiting to see when we see guys starting to make it 3 wide. We've seen a few guys attempt it earlier with some mixed success. Somebody argued it's still a little bit too early for that, but the lap's starting to tick down with just over 40 to go.
The only person I see peaking to try to go 3 wide, it's always the 67 of Cameron Hurd. He hasn't made his way up there, which isn't surprising with how clogged these lines are, but he's definitely still looking. If the move starts to formulate, he's likely to take it. He's up 19 spots on the day and trying to make it more. Garrett Grant right in front of him, he's up 22 spots, I believe. Oh, car in the wall at a turn 2. That was Jeff Ryan in 37. He gets out of the way. He was getting lapped,
that solves
actually.
that issue. Yeah, I was going to say, he was the lap truck in the front, so it's not an issue there. And it looks
Wreck in the back. Car trying to spin. That's Shane Wolf spinning. That was caused by Jeff Ryan checking up the second pack as he comes to a sliding stop.
Still green, though, as he spun off the racetrack. Take a look at what happened to him. Bad day gone worse for the number 2.
Yeah,
Up
there's
high.
Jeff Ryan. That is Jeff Ryan. That's the 3. I don't think is correct. It is 37, but the checkup was just too great to handle for the 2 machine.
Yeah, just the wrong place at the wrong time for the 2 is Shane Wolf, and just going to get the truck woed down as now he might be out of the way here as the 99 of Ryan probably led that lap. He still got the 77 pushing in hot pursuit, but it's getting close up here towards the front. Almost some 3 wide moves being made in the back there, you see, with Simon Fine in the 45.
Yeah, I see some guys having a peek to that outside lane. And 46 of Garrett Grant, Cameron Hearn.
Yeah, my bad. It was the 46 of Grant.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was a bit confused there for a second. Whoa, Colin Famro slowing off the pace. He's just kind of running around. Imagine how miserable it is for him out there. 3 laps down in 31st. Still has some lap cars he can pass. First car a lap down is 24 James Coey. At the moment he's actually battling with Logan Hartman for that spot. Hartman, though, we can see way off the pace. He's by himself.
Yeah, Fambro just has to survive and get what he can. He's not a winner. 25 to the good coming into tonight, but still needs every point he can. Can't really rely on just getting lucky. Just got to fight for what you can, even when you are maybe 30 miles per hour up the pace. A little dangerous, but you got to do what you got to do.
Speaking of dangerous, they're trying to get a 3 wide here in the back. We got a camera right on it. Garrett Grant and Cameron Hearn, they almost did it over there in 3 and 4. Got close to doing it again on the quad oval. Lap truck in front of the leaders, pulling low on the apron.
Shane Wolf getting out of the way.
Splendid.
Yeah, lap trucks nicely pulling over for now, just trying to get the race going. Just under 40 now, laps to go. Ooh, and there's Martin with a bit of a look, I think, just trying to get some clean air, maybe some overheating. And that's actually the other thing we have to talk about is how bad's the overheating, the situation when it comes to temps, engine temps. Are these guys going to be struggling a little bit, or is it not too bad?
I don't think the guys maybe 10th on back are going to be struggling because you're really not going to want to be on someone's bumper all around the track. And if we end this race on older tires, I don't think it'll be an issue either. But I'd say the guys at the front, like James Scioli, for example. Did I say James Scioli? Yes, that's correct. I thought I said the wrong name for a second. But Scioli and Bell, those guys who are on the bumpers of Ryan and Irvin, those are the ones I'd be concerned about. But right now, I don't think it's anything to think about.
Oh, tight towards the back half of that top 10. It looked like the silver truck of Slaughter trying to make it 3 wide there in the back.
You said maybe 20 to go we'd see people looking. It's 40 to go and people are trying to get to the front already.
Oh, and now looking on the outside is the 7 of Scioli. He's going to take it
here goes Grant.
of Swerve and Irvin.
That was close. Garrett Grant tried the middle there. Sorry to cut you off. He tried it, just couldn't make it work.
Still trying to figure out a way around the 11 of Jordan Martin, whether it's inside or middle for the 45 of Grant. That is yet to be determined, but Jordan Martin mentioned he was running inside the top 10. Oh, here we go.
Uh-oh.
Nope. They're trying to find a way. They can't seem to find it, but the 11 of Martin was running inside the top 10 at the white flag last night. Got caught up in a massive wreck and ended up didn't get in the finish that he wanted. Trying to get the right finish tonight as the 7 and the 48 are side by side for the win.
Oh!
Irvin on the bottom. He saves the truck on the apron. I can't believe what I've just seen. They will not wreck.
At least he won't. He refuses to wreck no matter how much he slides. I think he hit the apron. I think that's what caused it. As we see him go through turn 2 here, he will stay in the pack. Let's see what happens. Yep, hits the apron, and It gets back on it. At that point, he's just turning left to stay out of the pack, which is smart on his part. He stays out of the pack and saves a truck. That's unbelievable. Oh, my goodness. Oh, they're wrecking again. Garrett Grant's around. A few more drivers involved.
Oh,
Seidenfaden
come
caught it.
on.
This is ridiculous. How have they done this again? And 10 trucks or so are going to be out of the pack, starting with Eric Weiland now. But once again, they refuse to wreck.
Taking a look at
They
Garrett
will
Grant,
not wreck.
who seemed to be the epicenter of that. Ooh, he got into Cameron Hearn and then had to check up, got turned by the 6 into Chris Seidenfaden. And yeah, somehow, wow, Matthew Bell doing a great job at avoiding that.
And what that's done is that's put those guys closer to maybe the second pack. A number of drivers back there now that are going to catch up to them that benefits them. I can't believe that. I just don't believe it. Someone who can't believe it either is David Weishart. Who's going to take advantage of that, and now he'll be leading that bottom line as they're getting squarely in the middle of that lead pack still. That was Roderick who almost went for a slide.
Well, I can believe it because it happened last night, and I still can't believe it because it's happening again tonight. I mean, they will not wreck. They can't do this for the rest of the race. They cannot do it. There's Eric Weiland over in 15th, leading this group of cars. Haven't talked about him too much. He was up front, then he dropped to the back, and he's kind of been riding around the field ever since. But look for him to toss his name in the hat for the win here in the next 30 laps or so.
He's going to need a lot of help to get himself back up to the front here, unless this group with Tinch, Bell, Hurley, and Abby as well. You can see just running in the back. All 5 of them, they can try to find.
Oh, Jordan Martin sliding. They really don't want to wreck. This is ridiculous. I thought he was going to slam the dogleg wall, but got squirrely again. I wonder if that was off the bumper of Slaughter or what here, but that looked like a wreck too. It changes the game. Only 14 trucks in the pack as we see the replay here.
Oh, yeah, he definitely got turned by Brad Slaughter there for a second.
Yeah, I had to check up for the truck in front of him, and I don't think the 8 got the memo. Was trying to get up towards the front. There, just that little bump. That's all it takes.
As Connor mentioned, only 14 trucks in this leading pack here as I saw lap car out of frame. Colin Fambro again going to go yet another lap down.
So they're about to catch up to Shane Wolf and Jeff Ryan as well. Logan Hartman too. So 3 trucks way off the pace they're about to catch here.
Oh yeah, all 3 of them in one pack as well. This will be interesting.
Will all 3 of them pull low?
And there's the 77 of Jacob Bell having some internet issues as well to put the cherry on top.
Yeah, that happened last night with Jordan Martin in the 11. He's already done it once or twice tonight. He was 3rd on the bottom, leading the way, or helping the bottom lead the way through. Then he kept blinking, and that started a checkup on that bottom lane. And that
lap trucks just went side by side. This is bad. Oh, no.
Oh, well, they're going to get it worked out. Can they make it, though? Whoa.
Oh, well, that's one way to do it. That was looking scary for a moment.
And somehow we make it through the other side in one piece.
Yellow.
Oh!
Hartman spun, and that's going to bring out the yellow.
That didn't even look like that bad of a spin. I just find it funny out of all things. Let's see.
Didn't see anything else on track, as we'll see
I'm
here.
going to go put money on that he tried to transition back on the racetrack and just spun on the banking.
Oh, you're not getting any points for it, so there's no reason to bet. Let's see here. On the apron, and yep, transition. And really only a quarter spin, but that's what brought out the yellow. And once again, everyone gets a shot at 4 more fresh tires, potentially for the final time of the night.
Yeah, it's going to say.
If you're Shane Wolf, you're throwing your hands in the air saying, I completely spun out. How is that not a caution? But that is.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny. It makes race control look really silly. I mean, just like in real life, so in a way it's kind of accurate. But yeah, it is kind of funny. So we've seen so many incidents, arguably worse than that, and bring out absolutely nothing. And then just a little tiny spin on the apron, you come up just a little bit onto the track, and hello, hello. Wow, that was an aggressive turn by many guys, almost snapping their necks, trying to turn just at the last second on the pit lane. That's interesting.
30 under about 25-30 to go. A little bit surprised some people stayed out, but it wasn't like there were people at the back. Scioli the first one, Tommy Ryan, Senesac, Slate, Slaughter, and Hearn. And Garrett Grant ran into someone entering pit road, I think. Or maybe he was just upset that they weren't getting to the pack. Yeah, that was the issue. But surprised that we're a bit split on pit strategy here.
Oh, this is going to be interesting because, like I mentioned, we only saw one driver stay out on old tires last night. That was Jonathan Cogswell in the Cup race, and that did not work out well. Everybody just ditched him, and in the matter of 10 laps, he was already down in the 40s. So we'll see what happens here. He had more than one truck stay out, though, so this will really be interesting in how this restart plays out. Boy, there's like 5 or 6 trucks that stayed out, and leading that group is David Weishart.
Yeah, it was David Weishart, James Scioli, Tommy Ryan, Bryce Senizak, Rafe Slate, Brad Slaughter, and Cameron Hearn that all elected to stay out. Everyone else, from Ryan Swan on back, decided to come into pit lane. So, going to be a change up at the front. See if 20-lap old tires are going to make a difference. I think they definitely are for these guys with the way they've been running. So, I expect some chaos on this start.
I do expect chaos as well, but with how we've seen the racing, what have we seen from the racing tonight? On new tires, with everyone even, we've seen 2x2 racing locked in check with really nowhere to go. So, yes, those drivers are on old tires, but the guys on new tires, where are they going to go? Where are they going to pass? Everyone's going to be vying for that 3-wide move, but not every one of those guys can go 3 wide. So, this is good for the guys who stayed out to at least not be alone. They have numbers and they have strength in numbers here. So, could work out for him because it's going to be hard to find a way around 3 wide here. And I think that's big for Cameron Hearn to stay out because he was the guy trying to make those 3 wide moves, and now he might not need to as much.
Watch the field work their way through turns 1 and 2 here. Taking a look again at your race recap. 26 laps to go, coming to 25 laps to go. Only 3 cautions stopping the pace so far with 23 lead changes. It's been a really solid race so far here, and some pit strategy up near the front. Guys electing to stay out. 7 drivers, in fact, electing to stay out. Everyone else coming in for fresh Goodyears for some fresh rubbers. Is that going to make the difference, guys? Do we think so? Do we think not? O'Connor, you said it wasn't going to make much of a difference. Hunter, what do you think?
I think the fresh tires, we'll start to see someone make an aggressive move trying to go 3 wide with fresh tires, and I don't think it'll work out quite well.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards that. I think we're going to see some guys just use their tires up a little too well against some of these guys in the front with older tires, and I think we're going to see a massive crash. When that'll happen, I don't know, but I think we're going to see one in these next 25 laps. We'll see, though. They can prove me wrong. They've wrecked so many times and not brought out the yellow somehow. I think they'll prove me wrong here. Pace car's in, and David Weishart's going to lead him back to the green. Solid start for the 33, but when does it begin now as these guys get back up to speed here? Taking a look at the 19, Ryan Swan, again, the guy leading on fresh tires. I don't think he's going to be able to do much at the moment because he's boxed in.
As we see the checkup start into turn number 3 as they go 2x2, we'll see how long it takes for those old tires to start to really struggle. Don't expect anything from the 19 pinned in on the bottom, but the 56, AJ Roderick, haven't talked about him much. He's on the top line, and he's really the only one on fresh tires who is in any position to try a move, but he's really not there yet.
Yeah, currently holding his own on the outside line as Weishart has pressure from the 99 of Ryan on the outside. Rafe Slate mentioned it, had some damage, but he's still fast in the 08, did stay out, but he's still showing that top 5 speed.
You see here as they get up to speed here, not as bad as I was expecting so far. I think those guys in behind are going to have an advantage, but I think that track position was definitely worth quite a bit for some of these guys to get themselves to the front here so far. Nowhere to go for the 19 or the 56 leading the charge on the fresher rubber here as they just got over 20 laps to go, soon to be under 20 laps to go.
It's all about who makes the first move. It's all about who's first on 4 tires and who wants to make that move, who wants to risk it. Right now, none of them are really seeming like they want to make any sort of move, but someone's going to have to bite. You can't just run in 9th place for the rest of this race and be content with that on fresh tires. Sooner or later, something's going to happen, and we're coming very close to only 20 to go. Something's going to happen soon, Hunter.
Yep, that's the mark I said where it would start to ramp up. Well, as soon as they get to lap 100 or 20 to go, that's where we're going to start to see more aggressive moves being made and going to result in a couple of crashes, I suppose.
Looking on the back of David Weishart leading the charge for everyone. And I think I see someone going 3 wide for just a second. Looks like they're back to double file. Still waiting on seeing that 3 wide action. I think if you're going to go 3 wide, I guess now is really the time to do it here. With the laps winding down, question is, can you even do it? Is it even possible to maintain?
Gotta watch Jordan Hurley. He's blinking, but I don't know. It's gonna be difficult to make that 3 wide move. If you're gonna do it, you kind of have to hope you have room middle to do it. Ryan sideways on the top lane, but gets it going. It's gonna be so hard to make that 3 wide move work with the run on the top. It works better in next gens with the big runs you get, but I don't think you can do that with the trucks. With how you're gonna struggle to have any draft up there, and you might get squeezed into a wall. So it's risky to do it in the middle too, but I just think you got to find something different to do here. It's going to be tough.
Boy, quite a bit of trucks blinking out. Jacob Bell, again, you mentioned the 5 of Hurley blinking out as well. Don't know if that's going to create an issue on the bottom.
He is being told to park it here, or at least get out of the way. Not park it, but he's going to be forced to pretty much duck out to not cause an incident with his internet, which is a smart move there as he gets out of the way.
That's really unfortunate, especially at these kind of races, because you really can't do anything except drop to the back of the pack. So there's Jordan Hurley losing a lot of his spots, is running inside of the top 20 before that. It's going to have to be put back in 27th. Back up near the front, though, still double file, and it's looking more and more like the guys who stayed out made the right call.
James Shane Wolf, his internet drops out, so the 5's not the only one having issues, but the only issues for the guys on 4 tires, the guys on no tires ahead of them, as still really no clear-cut favorite at the front. Tommy Ryan does get a nose, actually a full truck width ahead of the 33, but is not going to be able to maintain it. 33 strong on the bottom. The pushing is pretty much dead even here, and there's just no room for that move yet.
Yeah, still door-to-door all throughout the top 10, and outside of that, so here's the 7 of Scioli trying to get a little run on the inside or get some clean air on the nose. Push the 99 out. Weiser led at the line.
3 wide in the back.
Oh, here we go. 3-1 move being made. That is Danny Ware, I believe? No, Christopher Tate in the 6. Oh, they're close to 3 wide. They might shuffle out. Ooh, but that is the 00 Danny Ware in the middle of that. Hello, 3 wide in the 3.
6 of Christopher Tate decided it's time to go. He's going to rock it on the outside. Looked like Eric Whiting is trying to follow through with the 6 because he feels like he's going places.
Look at the
Ryan around!
Oh my goodness! The 99 is in space!
Oh my gosh! He is still not landed. He's out of the ballpark. What in the world happened there?
I didn't even see him launch in the first place. I just saw him disappear off the screen. Let's take a look at what happened here. Off turn 4, it's where it all started.
Let's see. Scioli behind. 99 drifts up. Scioli sees the gap, tries to go for it. Same thing happened earlier with Beckner. Oh my gosh! Same thing happened with Beckner and Martin earlier, but I have never seen anything like that before.
And he's out of the park. Well,
he's heading to Homestead, Miami. What in the world? How does that make any sense? I guess it helps. I guess it helps that he went off the track so people avoided him, but we still had the separate incident. Bell and Scioli to the apron. That might have been all that happened. That actually was a blessing in disguise for the rest of the field that the 99 turned into an alien.
Well, oddly enough, me and Finian talked about it, that if there was going to be a big one, we'd have a lot of cars spinning and one going up in the air. I didn't think it would be like that, though. I didn't think it would actually happen, because I remember talking about it back a season ago at Pocono. There was a similar wreck in the tunnel turn where there were quite a few bit of trucks involved, and then the DuPont truck just took off and flew out of the atmosphere in turn 2, and we just saw that happen here.
Oh my god, that is so comical. Oh, I can't. That's the all-time moment of his season. Who was that who got through there? That was some Dukes of Hazzard stuff. That was incredible.
James Coey is who we're riding on board with in the 24.
Oh my goodness.
Also want to ride on board with 77 and Jacob Bell, who I saw be caught in the middle.
Oh my god, that's comical. I can't even focus on who was in the wreck, but Scioli actually saved it. Carter Coop had a hard hit to the inside wall. Seidenfaden to the inside wall. Other than that, there really weren't as much trucks in that as what should have been, but I guess thank the aliens for taking the 99 of Tommy Ryan with them. I don't know how else to describe that.
I think what we saw there, gentlemen, is a good argument for why these things need the new damage model.
That's one way to put it. But as we were talking about, that was caused by the same thing we saw earlier with Travis Beckner and the 0-1 of Dwight Beverly. One driver slides up, the guy behind thinks he has the gap to go for it, but the gap closes and there's no time for anyone to react. So not the first time we've seen it. It might not be the last time we see it with how aggressive everyone's trying to get. Scioli saw his way to the front, tried to take it, just closed up.
Well, we're double filed up, but I think that we're gonna have to make that into a T-shirt somehow for AreaIRacing.shop. Fans, be sure to check out AreaIRacing.shop for merchandise to represent your favorite driver. Shop from our selection of T-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, stickers, and much more. And I think we're like I said, we're gonna have to get on that and make that a T-shirt with the 99 truck of Tommy Ryan. I can't believe that we saw that. I know it doesn't matter what happened. We're only in race 6 of the season. That is the highlight of the season from any series, Cup, Truck, or Lodge Box series.
That can go on iRacing, not top 10, or top 10, depending on how you're looking at it. I don't know how you even continue with this broadcast. What do we just see?
I don't know. I really wish there wasn't a ceiling at the top, too. I wanted to honestly see how far he would go, because he had enough velocity probably to end up in orbit, honestly. At the way he was going, that car launched up into the air.
He might have made it on the radar of, you know how Kyle Heyer, he does the aerial shots for some of the tracks. We might have caught him on radar on Flight Sim. Oh, we have a race to do. Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, these guys up front, they have a win on their radar. We'll see what they can do, though. David Weishart leading the field back to green. Rafe Slate, Scioli, Senizek, and Hearn, your top 5. Big jumble up in the order after that wreck, and Weishart is off and away. And immediately seeing James Scioli, Rafe Slate jump to the bottom lane here as everyone's getting back up to speed.
Surprised Scioli's up there. We saw him spin. He has some rear end damage and front end damage. Weishart does as well, so we'll see what happens with these guys. Cameron Hearn, first one to jump to the top. Huge move for him. Who's following him? The first driver on 4 fresh tires, Ryan Swan in a 19.
Ryan Swan looking for a big finish here tonight as the 33 of Weishart leads. Here comes Hearn on the outside, though. 12 to go. The 67 is rocking. Here comes Swan. Here comes Senizek. They're 3 wide in the back. There they go. Sideways in the middle of the corner. Multiple trucks colliding in the middle of 1 and 2. That's going to bring out the caution.
Back to caution immediately. Let's see what happened there. I think that started with the 11. Saw Jordan Martin go around. He's actually okay.
6 shoots the middle and can't hold it. That's what that was. 11, great save. The 6, not so lucky as everyone in the back just know where to go here. Few drivers piling in. Bobby Tinch, one of those. That's what happens when the intensity picks up, though, to you, Hunter.
Doesn't come as a surprise. He was the one who made it 3 wide a couple laps before the second to last caution. He made it 3 wide there, and then just tried to check up and got into the 11, and then around he goes, colliding. There's the 95. Hello. Now we're going to re-rack him and restack him again.
Take one last look from James Litzenberger's point of view, because one of the last few guys to be involved in that.
Let's see here.
Oh, he got
piled. He got piled into it. It might have been Tinch in a 66 as well. Oh, and then one more into the wall for good measure.
With that, gonna have the caution come out yet again. Gonna take a quick break so I can get some water. I want to make sure I'm ready to go here because these last few laps are gonna be exciting. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we're back live here at Atlanta. Just a couple laps left to go. We're getting down to nitty-gritty, guys. We got just a few more laps to decide this thing. We had a couple wrecks to slow down that progress. And the field near the front has been all jumbled up.
Yeah, we've gotten word from Area 51. They have captured Tommy Ryan, so that's all well and good there. So we know where Tommy Ryan is after going into the stratosphere. But meanwhile, yes, we still have a race to do. We're going to restart with 8 laps of racing to go here, and it's going to be interesting what happens. The guys on the outside, Hearn was doing well on old tires, while Swan was doing a good job pushing on new tires. But how patient will Ryan Swan be? He has the fresh rubber. You think if he can find his way to the front, he has this on lock.
I think he's just got to keep pushing. I don't know if he can make a move that'll result in him going to the lead. He's got to keep pushing and hope that there's a big enough gap where he can drop down low.
We'll see what they're going to do here. Weishart off again. Fantastic restart for himself and James Scioli. Cameron Hearn, not so much. We'll see. Does he drop down to the bottom lane and behind Scioli? I think he's going to try to stick it around the top, see if he can get some momentum. No, he's going to come down low to clear.
It's kind of going to wait on that top line to come get him. He'll be the first one up there. Rafe Slate tried to get up in there first. They're not going to let Slate up. Swan goes to the way outside. Slate's going to shove him out, though, and Swan's going to go to the way back here.
Oh, that is not at all what the 19 wanted. That's not what I wanted either. I actually wanted to see him go up there and contend for the win.
Well, he can still do something. He can try to make...
Oh, no.
Oh, boy. I was going to say, you can still try to do something there. We saw Jordan Martin almost get into Danny Ware side by side through 3 and 4. They're still side by side. And here comes the 19. Can he do anything? I think he might be able to do something up on the top. He just needs a buddy maybe to help him out.
I thought the machine there, I thought Senesac was going to go with him. He wanted to, got to be careful there. But look at the runs. With the stack-ups on the bottom 2 lanes, that helps the 19 in the corner. But he just needs one more person up there, and they could be in really good shape. I think that'd be better for Hearn if Slate didn't do that. The push that he's getting is not enough right now to challenge Weishart.
He's yelling, "Let me in! Let me in!"
He doesn't need to get let in.
Yeah, he's gonna
really
have to get. He needs to get let in for the lead, though, and that's definitely what he wants. Unfortunately, it's gonna be so tough to get up there because then he's got no one to side draft off of. I see though Matthew Bell in the 9 further back in 13th. He's jumped up to the top lane. I'm not sure that's willingly or not. Either way, he's going to be up there, and here comes the 12 of Shane Abbey. We're going 3 wide around here, guys. This is going to get dicey. 5 laps to go at the line.
Oh, man. I am impressed with the 19, though. He's able to make up positions doing this. He's dead even, almost racing 3 wide for the lead here. Just needs a little bit of a push. Bell is trying to get up there, just not there quite yet. See if Senesac wants to go up there. Not quite yet. Here comes the 3rd lane. How is this going to end? Probably not good, Hunter.
No, I don't think so either, but the 9 is coming. We got multiple lanes now. Oh, the 09 and the 9 almost making contact. It is really tight up here. Swan still trying to get that 3rd lane rolling. Hearn leading the way on the middle, and Weishart leading on the bottom with 4 laps to go, heading into turn 1.
Yeah, someone's got to give at some point here. I'm really surprised this will last. We have the laps winding down here. 4 laps to go. These guys still side by side. Weishart and Cameron Hearn still duking it out. Drag race for both of them. As you see the 19 trying to join them, going to door the 0-8 of Rafe Slate.
That was extremely close. A little bit of netcode contact, but contact nonetheless. Can't have that. Meanwhile, Bell just cannot get up to the 19. Not enough momentum in the corners to do so. They're going to bang doors again for the 3rd position, middle and top line, as Hearn is near dooring the 33 right there, as they are tight packed here with 3 to go.
Justin Inasogok is in the best position on the racetrack because he's the first car behind this mess in front of him.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree.
Ryan Swan, though, still trying to keep his truck even.
He's there.
Trying to get there. He is there. 3 wide for the lead in Atlanta, coming to 2 laps to go. Weishart with the advantage for now, but they are 3 wide all over the place behind him. Swan nearly getting in the wall. It is getting tight. They're not going to last another lap.
Well, they're going to need to try to last one more lap if they want to see the checkered flag, at least under green flag conditions here. Swan was lucky that straightaway widened out because he got just enough room to save it. Oh, he's going to door Rafe Slate. They wiggle down the back straightaway. They're still good. This is definitely not going to last much longer.
That was Slate there, and that really hurts the 19. He's got big damage now. That's going to hurt that top line with what they had. Meanwhile, Weishart doesn't care. He gets clear for the race lead. They're dooring, but they keep it straight. We're going to get there.
White flag in the air one final time around Atlanta. Weishart, can he bring it to the checkered flag first? Here comes Hearn on the outside, and they're Oh, this is getting so close for you. Here they come down the backstretch for the final time.
Let's see what they can do. Wreck in the background, I think. Yeah, wrecking off a turn 2. Drag race for the guys up near the front. Cameron Hearn, James Scully, David Weishart all racing off into turns 3 and 4. Weishart in the lead. Can Scully make a move? Can Cameron Hearn make a move off of turn 4? It looks like no one's going to get there in time. It's going to be Weishart that wins here at Atlanta.
Oh my goodness, what a finish, and as far as the front pack's concerned, a clean run to the end, where we didn't think that was possible, 3 wide, let alone 2. Incredible stuff, and great job from Weishart and Scioli, giving the 33 the push when it mattered most, and David Weishart is in victory lane, finally, in the area series.
Man, oh man, 7th place finish there for Ryan Swan, but that doesn't show the effort that he put in that last restart. It looked like he was going to get shuffled out of line and dropped to the back. He kept his foot in it, and man, oh man, he fought hard for that 7th place finish. So props to Ryan Swan for being able to stay in it as long as he could.
Yeah, really solid job by everyone involved. I'm genuinely amazed we didn't have a wreck there at the end. We got 3 wide action for a couple laps. Incredible 3 wide action for a couple laps. And, well, it's a man with 2 threes on the door that's going to take home the checkered flag. Weishart burning it down.
Deservingly so as well at the front the entire race. The favorite throughout. And once again, 6 races, 6 different winners, I believe, for this series, which is just really huge. As Weishart, he was the best on points coming in tonight, and no worrying about what could happen with other different winners now. Solidly into the playoffs with that one.
Yeah, definitely well earned for him. James Scully, Cameron Hearn finishing 2nd and 3rd. Great racing for both of them. You can see just 7 thousandths of a second, actually tied for both of them coming to the line. Only won by just a bumper over Scully over Hearn. Roderick, Slate, Senizek, Swan, your top 7 with Wineland, Slaughter, and Bell completing your top 10 as we move on to the second page, Connor.
Yeah, Daniel Ware, didn't really talk about him too much. Got up there, kind of fell back after all the shuffling in that final run. Shane Abbey, didn't talk about him much either. Lath Hicks was pretty far back most of the time, but he recovered for 13th. Carter Coop involved in multiple incidents, 15th. Martin there had a great save. Garrett Grant, multiple saves. Anna Sogak, who dropped back at the beginning. Thought he was in the best spot because he just wasn't involved coming to the white flag. He gets 17th. No Lipe and Jordan Hurley, the top 20.
Then around 21st through 30th, Paul Irvin was up front for the longest, but the finish does not show the race that he had. Signifying Tinch, Jacob Bell was up inside the top 10 before the 99 decided to go flying into space. Litzenberger, 25th in his first race of the season. Then Coe, Hartman, Cochran, Famro, and Charles Canita.
And moving on back to your final page, actually gonna page through one more time to get the full list. There we go. Pretty much everyone here DNFing: Tate, Ryan, Holman, Shane Wolf, Ryan again, Jeff Ryan, Dwight Beverly, Ryan Hartz, Travis Beckner, Tom Bourne, Kahil Holmes. And then your final page, Jeffrey Wilson, Josh Taylor, Coder Cutterer, your final position. Of course, Aaron Reed not qualifying for this event, but that's going to round out your entire field. And we'll talk to the man. Actually, before we talk to the man who got it done, we'll talk to the guys you just missed out. Cameron Hearn. We saw him battling his way through the field. Unfortunately, at the end, was so close, yet so far.
Yeah, just need a little bit of help. I think there's some stuff happening coming off too. Lost all momentum, but started in the back, kind of stay out of trouble. Kind of points racing. You know, I've been up front and kind of had some finishes that killed me in points, and there's a lot of new drivers winning. So I was points racing, trying to stay out of trouble. But a podium is awesome. Have a chance at the win is what you hope for.
Yeah, and Cameron, I mean, you know, looking at the rest of this race, is there anything you felt you could have done different, could have done better near the end, or did you pretty much feel like that was the best you could have given it?
I think that was the best I could have done. I was so reliant on the guy behind me pushing me, and when they got 3 wide and Swan was on the outside, which is awesome, I think he made it work like 5 or 6 laps, which is what I was trying to do midway through the race, but I didn't feel comfortable doing it, so I didn't do it. The fact that they were able to make it work as long as they did, but I think that was why I lost my help with, I think Rafe was behind me. Didn't have a shot, but you know, we have car owner, truck owner, David Weishart winning the race. Another team, a kind of satellite team with James coming in second is good, but overall a good points night for all of our teams involved.
Well, Cameron, it was a solid job, solid effort for you guys in the 67 camp. Any final words?
Yeah, hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving. Appreciate the broadcast. I appreciate everybody showing up. They've got 44 trucks, which is awesome to see, kind of a third through the season. And I think we're going to get this truck to victory lane the next few weeks coming up.
All right, Cameron, thanks for talking to us.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Moving on next, James Scioli coming on through. Actually, pretty much tied with Cameron Hearn, only won by, I think, 10... what's the next division? 10,000th of a second over Cameron Hearn, something to the very infinite decimal. You were able to get it on through, but James, unfortunately, weren't able to get that win from David. Walk us through those final laps.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. We got in good position there, and it all kind of started on that last caution. We were lined up on the top, and we were trying to find a way to shuffle out Ryan up there, and I saw the hole and I went through the middle, and I felt like he came down, and watching the replay, that's kind of what it looks like to me. And at that point, I can't lift. I gotta take my run, and that was our plan all along. So then luckily I was able to keep it going straight somehow, and it gave me all my track position back, so that was huge. But David and I kind of both got damage in that, so we didn't know how we were going to be speed-wise running the bottom there. And Cameron was kind of just trying to control the top, make sure nobody got to his outside, and then they got 3 wide behind him and kind of killed his momentum, and I was just able to stick with David. I was giving it everything I had going into 3 there. It kind of stepped out, got a little tight, so just crazy. Didn't think we'd have the speed there running the bottom, but glad we were able to. And DWR affiliate here at Sci-Fi, so glad. I mean, it's essentially DWR 123, so can't ever complain about that.
Yeah, Cameron Hearn also mentioned that it was a team effort for you guys. Also curious if it was a team effort when it came to pit stops. Did all you guys plan on staying out knowing that would have a little effect, or were you concerned that maybe the guys in behind might have a little bit of an edge?
We were definitely concerned about tires. Once you got like 30 laps on them or so, it just started getting really, really loose. It kind of only wore out the right rear, so it just started to step out on you. And it was catching a lot of guys. I know it kind of caught out Paul on entry one time, and just kind of got sketchy. But our plan was to just kind of try and fake them down, and all of the DWR Sci-Fi guys were just going to stay out and try and control the race from there. And I'm glad that we did it. It worked out for us.
Well, James wasn't quite first place, but as you mentioned, it was a solid team effort. Finished in second place. Congratulations on that. Any final words?
Yeah, first I just want to thank DWR, Sci-Fi Racing, of course, and then Butt Kicker, Dandles Candles, Matco Tools, Chris Sports Cards, all for being on the car. Big thanks to them, and big thanks to you guys in the admin booth and you guys in the broadcast booth and all the admins for everything you guys do. We've had some exciting races here, so hopefully Thursday is the same.
Indeed, James. Thanks for talking to us.
Yep, thanks, guys.
And last but certainly not least, race winner David Weishart. David, walk us through those last few laps up there. We saw you had your buddies in behind you playing the rear gunners, but I'm sure that was definitely intense seeing everyone trying to chase you down.
Yeah, man, what a wild race. It's so different from last night. I didn't qualify last night and ran mid-pack and finished mid-pack, and it was rough. And I had to make it in tonight. I had to qualify in and started up front. Stayed up there. There was something about that bottom line, man. I don't want to like toot my own horn, but I feel like I led that bottom line better than anybody. There was just something about it. I knew how to get around there, and I went up top with my teammates mid-race, and the whole time I was up top in the middle lane, I was crying that I wanted back down. So once I got back down, I said I wasn't going to give it up, and had some damage there when the 99 and James had some contact there late in the race. So I was worried about that. Me and James had damage, and we thought Cameron and all them guys were just going to motor on around us. And I think them going 3 wide there at the end kind of stalled everybody's momentum, and the bottom just a shorter way around at that point. So lucky to come out of here with a win. Lucky to finish, really. I did not, when I went into this season, I do not like racing the trucks for the most part, but I came out here this season just to have some fun. I've admin this series the last 2 seasons, and I did not think the trucks would be my first win of the season. So happy to come out of here with that, get locked into the chase, and had a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, indeed, logging yourself into the chase is a big thing. Of course, getting the first win for the team as well. Looking at the rest of the calendar in this particular series, where do you think win number 2 may come from?
Oh, I don't even know where we go, man. I take it on a week-to-week basis. So there's a couple tracks in there I feel pretty good about. I think the trucks go to IRP in the I think it's first race of the, or no, did we already go to? Dude, like I said, I don't even know. I'm sure there's a few in there that I have a pretty good chance in, but this truck field is stacked. You know, you got Cameron, James, Brad. You know, you got Danny Ware. You know, all the usual front runners up there, Rafe. So it's gonna be tough, but should be a fun season. Now that I'm locked in, I don't have to worry about stuff. I can take some risks. So looking forward to it.
Definitely looking forward to that, David. Thanks for talking to us. Congratulations on the win.
All right, thanks, guys.
And with that, it's going to wrap up interviews here from Atlanta after some fantastic racing from the entire field at the end there. I'm still genuinely amazed looking at this replay, seeing these guys go 3 wide, and somehow we didn't send a second person into the stratosphere.
Yeah, I really thought we'd see a few more bigger crashes, but even when it looked like it was going to be big, we really didn't get that elusive, huge, big one. Had crashes, no doubt, but not what we really expected. What we really did get was some pretty outstanding racing and great car control by a lot of drivers tonight, no doubt about that. Definitely sent the truck to the stratosphere. Hopefully, Tommy Ryan's back with us in 2 weeks' time, but overall, really exciting. I didn't think these trucks would put on that type of a show, but this was awesome and great job by the 33. Like we talked about, he was one of the guys who were at the front of the field all night, and it showed here. It's finally getting that win in the truck series, no less.
Hunter, your final thoughts?
I would say the title on the top, I still want Old Atlanta back, but I can see why they went ahead and went with the renovation in real life. It doesn't translate in real life, but on the sim, it's kind of entertaining. There's really nowhere to go if you're running side by side constantly, but nonetheless, the pack racing at the very end, I don't know how they didn't wreck. I was expecting a wreck the last 5 laps or so, but really impressed with what the drivers did tonight, and fortunate that we've only got one more event here, and that's Thursday night for the Launch Box Series.
I was going to say, these guys so far have been doing a fantastic job putting on shows here at the newly repaved Atlanta Motor Speedway. Cup Series and Truck Series action is done for this week. We still got, as Hunter mentioned, the Launch Box Series coming here on Thursday night, so be sure to tune into that, especially if you love this type of racing, and I'm sure they're going to definitely put on a fantastic show. As one of the drivers alluded to earlier, we are going to be off next week for all of the area streams, so they're off for Thanksgiving. Again, happy Thanksgiving to everyone coming up. And then after that, all the series will be heading to Darlington, and that's definitely going to be a driver's track. Looking forward to that, but for now, my name is Finney DeCuna here with Connor Horn and Hunter Slepny. We're going to be signing out here from Atlanta. Thanks for watching.